and let's get right to our next speaker. After this speaker, we will have a 15-minute break. So this is José Ramirez, co-owner of Madera Estates. Named Houston Business Journal's 40 Under 40, Ian is a CSEP and the co-owner of Madera Estates, an award-winning Spanish and European-inspired wedding and event venue located in Conroe, Texas. The architecturally stunning and beauty that is Madera Estates takes inspiration and vision from the historic town of San Miguel de Allende, Mexico, an artist haven and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. A 2023 Wedding Pro Educator, Ian is passionate about giving back to his community as well as sharing his knowledge with others in the wedding and event industry. He has been featured speaker at Wedding Pro COR, Wedding MBA, Catersource and Special Event, Wedding Summit Series, Association of Wedding Planners, as well as the International Live Events Association, ILEA. Among his accolades, Ian has also received his Certified Special Events Professional, CSEP designation. Ian started his career as an internationally trained opera singer who has sung across the globe from Portland, Oregon to Stuttgart, Germany. When he is not at work or on stage, Ian can be found in the yoga studio or traveling with his husband, Paul. Please join me in welcoming Ian.
Y'all need to wake up a little bit, right? Yeah. Yeah, just a little bit? Okay. I have a little way to help wake you up. Dein ist mein schönstes Lied, weil es allein aus der Liebe blüht. Sag noch mir einmal, mein einzig Lieb, sag noch mir einmal mir, ich hab dich lieb. Are you awake now? Yeah. Okay, good. So ladies and gentlemen, mademoiselles et messieurs, Damen und Herren, business success is often like a magnificent opera. Imagine your company is the grand stage, your team is the talented cast, and your service is a captivating performance. But here's the twist. Without the right leads, you can have the most beautiful opera house, the most talented singers, and a breathtaking set, but no one's in the audience. And in today's presentation, we are going to explore how to fill those seats with enthusiastic leads so that we can ensure your business success so that your performance doesn't go unnoticed or unheard. Click. There we go, we'll use the clicker. So as Lorette mentioned, she gave me a wonderful long introduction. I need to shorten that bio by 2 paragraphs. My name is Ian Ramirez and I'm the co-owner of Madera Estates. I am an internationally trained opera singer and I am also a Disney adult. Where are my Disney fans in the room? Come on, yes, I love it, love it. So does this look like you? When it comes to leads, do you feel like you're just throwing thousands of dollars out the window? One of my favorite GIFs, I've stolen the GIF trend from Miss Shannon here in the front, at lead generation tactics that we're just hoping that are working. So what we're going to learn today is we're going to identify top 3 strategies that generate affordable leads that maximize your ROI. We're going to harness the power of Instagram to get reviews and convert followers to leads. We'll incorporate a system that organizes and nurtures your leads. And lastly, we'll stop wasting time with unqualified leads by using a great lead qualifying framework. So, as our lovely Julie Andrews says, let's start at the very beginning. Lead generation serves as, of course, a crucial starting point for any successful business, venue, services, in terms of building our sales pipeline as it fuels the process to identifying and initiating engagement with potential customers. So up here today, you have probably all common lead generation tactics that you all have. Google Ads, managing your SEO, social media, third-party platforms, print advertising, in-person events, direct mail. Does anybody do direct mail? Okay, good, no. However, a question that you may all be asking yourselves today and that we ask ourselves every day and every year, right, is how do I generate more high-quality leads without spending thousands of dollars, right? And I love this meme of Willem Dafoe. Tell me how. So today we're going to talk about the 3 top affordable lead strategies that you can incorporate into your venue or your business. The first is developing a preferred vendor list and getting on a preferred vendor list for our vendors. Next is getting client referrals. And then last, we'll be diving into creating a lead magnet. So let me see a show of hands today. Who is a venue versus who is a vendor? So I can't walk away from the mic either, I'm sorry. Who's a venue? Okay, good number of venues. Who are our other services? Florists, caterers, DJs. Okay, fantastic. So almost a 50-50 split. So this first part is going to be geared towards our vendors. So as a venue, I'm going to give you some do's and don'ts of your tactics of getting onto a preferred vendor list. The first thing is, please don't ask me to be on the list. Don't show up to my venue and say, hey, I'm Ian, I am a florist, can I be on your preferred vendor list? We have busy schedules, right? We all do. Nobody likes somebody that's showing up to our office. Don't send me an email that says, hey, my name is Ian, can I get on your preferred vendor list? It's like cold calling, right? It's a very indirect way of reaching out to the venue. And also, don't just come up to me and ask me how to get on my list, as I said. What I want you to do instead is I want you to ask questions and focus on providing value. What, at the end of the day, can you exchange for me? And it's truly a business relationship, right? So if you're a photographer, for instance, and you're wanting to get on my preferred vendor list, one thing that you could do is offer value by reaching out to me and say, hey, I would love to offer your team some new headshots. Instead of reaching out to me directly and saying, hey, I'm a new photographer, can I get on your preferred vendor list? Or how do I get on your preferred vendor list? Reach out to me and offer me some sort of value. Same thing with caterers. If you want to offer a tasting, I think that's absolutely fine. Or even if you're a wedding planner, how many wedding planners do we have in the room? Reach out to that venue and say, I would love to host a styled shoot at your venue. You want to have that mutual exchange and provide value to that venue. The next is, I want you to stop assuming that you share the same audience. What I really want you to do is take your time and research the venue to understand who their client is. Because at the end of the day, we don't all serve the same client bases. So if I'm somebody that's offering a luxury service, why would I reach out to a venue to where I know that the vendors there are maybe at a lower price point, where the clients aren't going to be able to afford my services? And next, I want you to don't stop developing the relationship. So many times vendors will reach out to a venue and they'll maybe ask, hey, can I get on your preferred vendor list? Or they'll host that styled shoot, and then that's the end of the relationship. And you just heard from Miss Shannon up here, right? Networking is the name of the game. And so just because you've asked once, I don't want you to think that, okay, I'm never gonna get on that venue's preferred vendor list. And what I wanna do is give you a brief example. So about 5 years ago, we had a catering company that we worked with that probably had about 40% of our business. We were having some internal quality control issues with this caterer, and I eventually had to let them go. But before doing that, I had a catering company that had essentially been courting me for 2 years before they got into our preferred vendor list. And she had invited me out to a tasting at that 2-year mark, and just always at networking events would come up to me, ask me how I'm doing, send me letters in the mail. Believe it or not, she would actually send me things and goodies in the mail. And I got to that point where I needed to let go of that caterer, and guess who was the top of my mind? That caterer who had been staying in contact with me for 2 years. And man, she lucked out, because we ended up transferring over 30 weddings to this caterer. And she's not in the room today, and I won't name the business by name, but we were able to really help save their business, because this was at a time where they were struggling a little bit, and now I'm proud to say that they're actually building their own kitchen. So don't give up. Don't stop developing the relationship. And what I want you to do is be patient, because at the end of the day, you're always auditioning. Everywhere you go, every networking event, no matter what you do and what you say, people are watching you. Y'all were watching me from the moment that I walked up here, right? You're watching me now, you're checking out what my hair looks like. It's the same thing. You are always auditioning. So when you get on the preferred vendor list, right? When you get on a preferred vendor list, you may think, great, I've made it. The work doesn't stop there. So you can't just wait and assume that leads are either going to reach out to you based on a list of preferred vendors that has maybe a link to your website or your email address, or wait for the venue to maybe recommend you to those clients. You need to take a more active approach to courting those leads at that venue instead of taking a passive approach. And so here are my top 3 tips for success. Once you've got on that preferred vendor list, What I want you to do is create an incentive for those clients at that venue. You heard Shannon just mention it right before me. You want to create a special incentive for those clients. And it may be the same incentive you offer everybody, right? But I can tell you from experience, the vendors that have had the most success at our venue are the ones that offer some sort of incentive and ask me to share it with the clients. It's all well and good for you to wait for a client to reach out to you. But if you don't actually be proactive, ask the venue, say, hey, I just rolled out this new special. Fireworks, for example, we have a fireworks vendor that we send a lot of business. He reached out to me and said, hey, I do a lot of business at your venue, but I want more business. We're gonna offer all of your clients a third extra minute of fireworks when they buy 2 minutes. I can't tell you how many clients jumped on that. They love that. Next, what I want you to do is collaborate with the venue to host an exclusive in-person event for booked clients only. For the venues that are in the room today, how many of you wish you could add more value to your client's wedding planning experience and their experience at their venue, at your venue? Oh, more than that. Come on, just a few. You always want to find ways where you can add value. I saw Amanda raise her hand in the back too. So one of the things that I would do as a vendor, say for example, I was a DJ. What I would do is I would reach out to a local dance instructor, go to that venue and say, hey, I want to create a class where I can teach couples, right, how they can maximize their efforts. They want to look good for their first dance. How many grooms look awkward, right? They're just like 2 feet, 2 feet. You know, maybe the DJ is going to have a little bit of cost to partner with this dance instructor, but I would go to that venue and say, hey, I want to host this class once a year. It's only for your clients. Guess what's going to happen? That DJ is going to get FaceTime with every single one of your booked clients. Okay? What about, let's see, what's another vendor service that we could create a class for? Hair and makeup. Do I have any hair and makeup artists in here today? Right? So what you could do is offer to teach the brides of that wedding venue how to do engagement makeup for their engagement photos, right? Oftentimes they're not getting a hair and makeup artist for their engagement photos. Invite the clients out to the venue and say, hey, this is exclusive. Maybe ask the venue to provide light snacks and beverages, or maybe you assume that cost. And you're going to teach those clients. And the venue's going to be like, love it, great. We have this exclusive, when they sell the venue, we have this exclusive list of vendors that we work with. You're going to have all these available events that come to you, and we're going to bring the vendors to you, right? So you're taking more of an active approach to being on a preferred vendor list. The same thing could go for tastings. Tastings are a little bit easier, I think, for catering and for cakes. But if I were any of these other vendors, same thing with wedding planners. How many wedding planners do I have in the room? Fantastic. One thing that you could do is offer maybe an experiential marketing event where you come to the venue and you do almost your own take on a mood board. Have the clients of the venue come out and you're going to help them design their wedding. And one evening, keep it simple, but do an interactive take on a mood board where you get paint swatches from Sherwin-Williams, maybe get a couple of different type of fabric swatches so they can feel what their wedding tastes like, and then what it feels like, and then lastly, get some cologne or even some oils. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. And have them put it on their mood card and say, what does your wedding smell like? And then lastly, venues are busy, y'all. We don't have time to write blog posts. We struggle to even do our own social media, right? We outsource that. So offer to your venue that you're on the preferred vendor list of to write a blog or offer them some wedding planning resource. An example would be maybe the top 5 places to host your engagement photo session. If I'm a photographer on your preferred vendor list, I'm gonna reach out to that venue. I'm gonna write this resource and say, hey, Ian, can I share this with your client base? At a given time, we maybe have anywhere from 75 to 100 clients at once. Great, that's a great wedding planning resource that I can give to my clients, and I didn't even have to write it. So these are my 3 tips for being proactive and getting more out of your preferred vendor list status. So next we have client referrals. So many of us stop the client journey after we provide this service. But I'm telling you, there is so much opportunity in providing our clients value beyond their wedding day. It's much more expensive and effortful for us to be able to find new clients when I want you to ask yourself, what is the lifetime value of the client that we're working with? I'm gonna say that again because it's really important. I want you all to take that away today. What is the lifetime value of the client that we're working with? We need to turn our clients from just everyday clients into advocates and raging fans because they know people, they have their own inner circle of trust that they want to work with and recommend you, and they're going to tell their friends about you. So what we want to do is we want to adopt this 4-step framework. The first is we want to identify our advocates. So I want each of you today I want you to put this on the action item list that Shannon's going to give you. After today's presentations, I want you to go home and write a list of 50 people, and this is why it's coming to 50, because we're going to go over the Instagram hack again, because it's in my presentation too. So 50 people, oh, it's a little different. 50 people that you know had a positive experience with your service. An easy way to do this, just comb your reviews. If you got 5-star reviews, go through all of those 1-star reviews. Don't ignore them. 5 stars only. So build your list of advocates that you're going to keep handy throughout the year. The next thing I want you to do is stay top of mind. This list of advocates that you just created, I want you to stay top of mind by sending them holiday cards, email campaigns even for maybe their anniversary. If you can remember manually to send that anniversary email, send it out to them. However, we'll get into email campaigns as well. Staying top of mind is crucial. Next, requesting reviews. And I'm gonna give you a hack in just a moment on how you can request reviews on something that we did that had a great return rate. And lastly, I want you to ask for referrals. Why are we so afraid to ask our previous clients for referrals? How many of us actually ask our current clients after their service is done to send them business? Okay, we need like everybody in the room after today to raise their hand. Ask your clients after the service is over for their business. And I'm gonna give you one timeline for this after this. Okay, so we're gonna bring in Shannon's hack really quickly that she mentioned that we have adopted for getting reviews, a nice little Instagram review hack for you. So last year we were trying to figure out fun and unique ways to ask for reviews. Our typical process was reaching out 2 weeks after the wedding, typically assuming that they were back from their honeymoon, sending a nice email like, hey, just send us your pictures. Once you get them, we want to post them on Instagram. And I can't tell you how many times people never responded to that. So it's like Christmas came early. So in December of this past year, one of my coordinators came to me and she said, Ian, I have this amazing idea to get reviews. I was like, okay, great. What do you want to do? She's like, I want to use the close friends feature on Instagram that y'all all just learned from Shannon. I want to use the close friends feature from Instagram, put those advocates that we just listed in that close friends feature, and we're going to reach out to them and ask them for reviews. So the sample you can see here is, it's the season of giving. I'll be forever grateful if you could leave a review. I'm only 4 reviews away from getting an award on the Knot, and it could be an award on Google. We want to create a sense of urgency. Click this link here and leave a review. On the next page it says, in return, I'll send you a handwritten thank you card with some glitter in it. Okay? So 2 key elements. Number 1, we use this close friends feature of all the brides that we knew were advocates. Number 2, the time that it was sent at 10 o'clock at night. Number 3, it was Christmas Eve. So guess what? Ain't nobody doing anything on Christmas Eve. So guess what happened? We had 10 reviews.
Wow. So sneaky.
So sneaky.
So good.
So y'all better all steal this. Christmas Eve, 10:30, the night before, 10:30. We had 1 person fill it out immediately. We had 8 people on Christmas Eve give us 5-star reviews. And then on New Year's Eve, we had 1 more come through. So of the 26 people that we had click the link, we had 10 people leave a review, which that's a pretty good result, y'all. I'll take that. So that was a 38% commitment from our clients that left a review. Now don't stop there, right? If they don't leave a review here, keep after them and keep asking for reviews, but this is a quick hack that you can use to ask for reviews. I hope all of y'all steal it. Okay, next, and the last way that you can generate affordable leads is to create a lead magnet. How many of us have a lead magnet? Okay, so we got 4 or 5 people in here. So you may ask yourself, Ian, what is a lead magnet? Well, a lead magnet is a digital download where you can offer your pricing guide or an investment guide or other valuable resource, and you provide it to users or leads in exchange for their contact information. So if you post your pricing on your website and the lead's coming to your website and they see it, they're like, not for me. Okay, well, how do I capture their information? Instead, create an investment guide or a pricing guide where they have to give you their information in exchange for the resource or pricing information. You're offering something that they want and need. We just heard Gen Z, right? They're just like, oh, I don't want to talk to anybody, right? So if you offer this investment guide, it's an opportunity for them to have that low friction, no communication access to your pricing. It's transparent. They download that guide and guess what? You get their information. So you may be thinking, well, Ian, I don't really like the idea of offering a pricing guide. Okay, well, there's some other ways that you can offer valuable resources to these clients. For photographers, I mentioned that idea of the top 5 areas in your city for engagement pictures. Every client, when they get engaged, is like, where should I take engagement pictures? That's a valuable thing to them, right? It adds immediate value. It answers that question of where do I take engagement pictures? Venues, if you don't want to do a pricing guide, you can do how to find the perfect wedding venue. How many times when people get engaged, they're like, I don't know where to find my venue. Lastly, planners offer a way for clients to maximize their budget. It could be a guide, top 5 tips to maximize your wedding budget. The main benefits to including either an investment guide or some sort of resource as a lead magnet, number 1, it will qualify your leads. Number 2, it's a quick and affordable way to fill your sales funnel. And it's really easy to add to your website. So some things to keep in mind, the key elements of a good lead magnet. It's going to offer immediate value. Again, with pricing, that's the general number 1 thing that most people are trained to look for. So you're going to want to offer immediate value. Number 2, you want to add a memorable title. No more download wedding brochure. That's boring. No. Pricing or investment, ding, 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 ding. I want to know how it costs, right? That's going to be memorable for them. Or even the title that I mentioned for the engagement pictures for the photographer. Immediately, something that's going to grab their interest. Next, keep it short. We don't have time to read. Those Gen Z, I mean, technically I'm millennial, but Gen Z, they don't have time to read. 3 to 4 pages max. And lastly, include a call to action. At the end, it should include a call to action. There's a waste of time if you're making a lead magnet and you don't have a call to the action at the end. So whether it's booking a tour, booking an appointment, email follow-up, anything, it has to have a call to action at the end. So where do I start? It's really not that complicated. There's a lot of tools out there that you can use that can create a lead magnet for you and give you tools. So number 1, ChatGPT. Who uses ChatGPT? Oh yes, everybody should be using it, y'all. You can type in create a lead magnet for me as a wedding venue and it will give you some actually pretty cool stuff. Go in and tweak it yourself. Same thing for any other vendor category. And the next, Canva. Who uses Canva? Yes, amen. The low cost, very effective, easy way, user-friendly way to create your own lead magnet. And lastly, what are we gonna do? We're gonna do the Bop It method on Instagram. You're gonna link it, you're gonna pin it, you're gonna post it, and you're gonna run ads to it. Okay, did anybody play that little Bop It game, right? Bop it, link it, post it, So yes, you're gonna link it. So you're gonna link it in your bio. If you have your link tree or any other Instagram links, you're gonna put it there. Number 2, you're gonna post about it. Number 3, you're gonna pin it to the first slot on your Instagram page, and then you're gonna run ads to it. So you may be wondering, okay, Ian, yeah, you're talking about creating this lead magnet. Well, I've pulled some stats from you from our August lead magnet to share with you. So in the month of August, we had 41 investment guide downloads. 27% of those came from Instagram. 12% converted to a tour. So that was 5 tours total from those. Within the same month, we've had some crossover. And then 5% converted into an actual sale. So 2 of those weddings we booked from this lead magnet. For those leads that didn't convert, however, you're like, okay, well, I'm done with the lead magnet. No. I'm not too concerned right now if they haven't booked a tour because I've added them into a lead nurture campaign, which brings me to my next great topic on leads. Lead nurturing. We're gonna dive into the realm of CRMs and email automation. So lead nurturing really is a lot more than just your initial follow-up routine. Of course, we want to respond quickly, but when you're receiving 50, 60, 70, hundreds sometimes of leads a month, how is it possible to keep track of and manage all of these leads? And also, how do we stay connected with the cold leads? Some of you may think, okay, well, they never responded to me, but believe it or not, there is proof in the pudding to keep communicating with them. And as my favorite drag queen says, Jasmine Masters, ain't nobody got time for that. Who has time for that? How can we manually follow up and keep track of all of these leads? So instead, wasting time manually following up with leads, right? Or even worse, wasting time following up with dead end leads, we need to automate this process and adopt a way that's efficient to manage our leads and nurture them through an email nurturing campaign. So the number 1 way to do this is through a CRM. Incorporating a CRM into your overall business strategy, I think, is vital to the success of your business, particularly one that offers you an option to offer email automation, texting capabilities, appointment setting, and reporting. At the end of the day, we want to know our numbers. So of course, CRMs have a multitude of benefits, but for me, most of the top 3 benefits would be time and cost savings, right? It's gonna allow our employees to free up and focus on higher value activities. Marketing automation, I think, is the biggest part of my presentation today that I want you to take away, is the power of email campaigns and that constant follow-up. I sing a lot. And enhanced communication. An example of this could be, so at our venue we have in-house wedding coordinators, and we've even incorporated our CRM to assist our wedding coordinators plan and enhance our clients' wedding planning experience. So our coordinators meet with them 6 months leading up to the wedding, and they get a monthly email reminder of certain things that they should be taking on in terms of their planning experiences, adding resources to them, offering them discounts to vendors. So remember when I mentioned the vendors creating resources for the venues? If your venue has a CRM, recommend to them that you have a resource that they can drop into your automated email campaign. Okay, the top 3 things to keep in mind for having a CRM, or top 3 things rather to look for when you're getting a CRM. Number 1 is user-friendly. I have found in my experience that salespeople technically struggle with the technical part, right? They're really good people, they connect with people, but sometimes they're not the most organized. So user-friendly is number 1. The second thing you need to think of when you're looking for a CRM for you is integrations. So important to have one that has texting and appointment setting capabilities and reporting. And then lastly, reporting. We need to know our numbers. So one CRM that we use is Keep right here. There's a QR code that you can scan here and it'll take you to their website for you to learn more about it. Now, if you're thinking, Ian, I can't, it's too much. I'm a one-man show. I can't do a CRM right now. One thing that Shannon offered to you as well is Flowdesk. Flowdesk is a really easy way to get into email campaigns that's really user-friendly and very cost-effective. And I'm not telling you to scan Shannon's, but you can scan mine for 50% off too. We'll split it. And now you may worry, automation, Ian, I'm gonna lose the personal touch, but really at your service and at your venue, you do have the ability to integrate automation within a personal touch. So what we do at Madera in the initial follow-up is they get their automated email, which comes with their investment guide, or if it's just a general inquiry, they'll get an automated email. 5 minutes later, they'll get an auto text. And then generally they respond to this first text, and then Paul, my husband right here in the front, he starts a lovely conversation with them. However, if they don't respond and they're ghosting us, internally we have some auto reminders that come to us and remind us to reach out to them. So you're not having to write down on a piece of paper to remember when you're gonna reach out to them. So following up after that is 2 days and 5 days. So those reminders go to Paul and he reaches out to them. Then, if they are truly ghosting us, or they're not responding, or they're giving us the wrong number, or they're under a rock, we put them into a lead nurture campaign. And so a sample lead nurture campaign, here's some content that you could use for your own lead nurture campaign. It's a combination really of adding value to your clients' experience, but also informing them why they should choose your venue or your service. So for us, a standard email campaign might look like this, where we have a video testimonial from a previous client. We have a follow-up where it's maximizing your wedding budget, a real wedding. If you write blogs and you have real weddings, this is a great, easy way to put it into your email campaign. Number 4, why my company, giving them the top reasons why they should choose your company. For example, this could be, say for a photographer, you want to make sure that they know that you edit your own images and you don't outsource it. This would be a great thing to include why you should hire my company. And then a video testimonial, usually we end with that as well. So what are the benefits of a lead nurture campaign? Number 1 is it's going to save time, right? We were just talking about how the CRM offers you the ability to maximize your time and efforts. Next, it offers you multiple touch points. And I can give you an example of this. Some of you may say, okay, you know, after 6 months, I stopped following up with a lead. After a year, I stopped following up with a lead. But actually, this new generation is taking a lot longer to decide their wedding vendors and their venues. And we actually just had a client that booked us this past month that toured us last October. last October. And now that's not going to be every client, but I could have easily just let them fizzle out and not continue talking to them. But in their planning experience, they told us that they had toured 12 venues and that we were the only one that continued to follow up with them after they had their site visits. The only one. So our lead nurture campaign, one of them is 6 months long. 6 months. Now, I'm not saying every lead's going to take 6 months to convert, but at the end of the day, we were the one that was top of mind, and you've heard that even in Shannon's referrals, right? You always want to be top of mind. So some key reminders for creating your lead nurture campaign would be content. Obviously, it has to be relevant and relatable and valuable to the clients. Number 2, this one's important. Timing and frequency is going to be key. You may even have multiple lead nurture campaigns. At Madera, we have a few. There's one that we just call a general lead nurture campaign. If they're either ghosting us or we haven't heard from them a while, that's the 6-month one. And then we have our own separate follow-up email campaign that goes out after they've toured the venue. Those are a little more condensed because we're trying to get them to book and convert at a sooner rate. However, even if they start to ghost us, then we'll drop them into that 6-month campaign. So together, our campaigns last almost 8 months. And most of our couples are booking us around that 4-week mark now. But every now and then we're getting those few that come back 6, 8, 12 months later. And one of my favorite quotes that I have to share with you today is from, as I skip it, Nathan Reich: "The key to email nurturing is to provide super relevant and super practical content that delivers real value on a regular basis." And don't worry, it's not replacing a person and it's not impersonal. However, really the intention is to supplement your team's efforts. So next we wrap up with lead qualification, and we all know not all leads are created equal. No. And I think one big misconception is that more leads equals more sales. And I challenge you to change your mindset to say more leads does not equal more sales, more qualified leads equal more sales. So what I want us all to do today is I want us to think like Maud, the American operatic soprano. You're going to be a diva for a second. Instead of inviting everybody to the party, what we need to do is we need to think like her. We need to carefully vet our guest list, or in our case, the leads that we're communicating with and invite to have appointments with or invite to see our venue. Now, I'm not saying that we act like divas. Well, yeah, I really am saying you're gonna act like a diva. But we must be selective and intentional with how we qualify our leads. So what I'm gonna leave you with today is this lead qualifying framework, MAUD, right? It's easy to remember. MAUD, M, stands for money. What is their financial comfort zone? And I prefer the word financial comfort zone. Budget seems a little strict and inflexible. And we all know that this is where a majority of your leads are going to fall off in the qualification stage. The next is authority. Who are the decision makers involved? When we lead our venue tours, we always ask prior to the venue tour, who is helping you make your wedding decision? In our industry, of course, we have a rare instance where we have parents assisting still to pay for the weddings. However, I think it is important to try to get all decision makers there to be able to make a decision. Next is urgency. When is the wedding? If we have a lead that reaches out to us and they say their wedding's in 2027, no ma'am, I'm sorry. I'll just drop you into a lead nurture campaign so I don't have to waste my time with you just yet. And then decision criteria. I think what's really important for us is to understand what their decision factors are for your service or for your venue. If a client expresses to me that they're looking for a venue that maybe is a little more on the glam side, is open and airy and all white, that's definitely not Madera. I may recommend some other venues because I don't want to waste my time trying to be something I'm not, and I don't want to have them out at the venue and waste my precious time and energy on hosting a tour when I know they're not going to convert. So when you engage in this framework, it essentially is trying to close, giving you the ability to close sooner when you qualify them earlier. So I'll wrap up today with one final tip in terms of lead conversion. And this is a top tip at any stage. Really what we want to do is always be creating a sense of urgency. So as she says so graciously here, no mystery, just urgency. From everywhere from your initial response all the way to closing the sale, I think it's important to maintain a sense of urgency, not only in your team when you're responding to initial lead inquiries, but also when you're setting an appointment. I think it is important to be able to share with them that you maybe have limited availability, you have a wait list. Something that we do at Madera is we have wait lists for tours, just to create that sense of, oh my gosh, I'm gonna miss out, a little sense of FOMO. Also creating a sense of scarcity. We have a saying at Madera, it's the art of scarcity. So combining that sense of urgency and scarcity, I think, is key. And then wrapping up, really the trend that I'm seeing, at least within our venue tours and talking to some of our other colleagues here in the area, is that Gen Z is taking a little bit longer to make their decisions when it comes to selecting their venues and their wedding vendors. And so right now, I think what we've employed that we have seen has been successful is giving them a deadline of some sort of incentive. So saying, hey, when you book our venue within 2 weeks, you're gonna get X, Y, Z, just added value to your overall wedding experience. And I'm not saying discounting, what I'm saying is adding some little extra up-level perk to their package. So your key takeaways for today, you don't have to spend thousands of dollars to get a lot of quality leads. I want you to steal that Instagram hack. Truly, if you take one thing away from this presentation today, after today, is use that Instagram hack to get reviews, because we're gonna turn all of your advocates into raging fans. Next is, I really want you all to consider to adopt a CRM. If you have questions about a CRM, if you want my opinion on any CRMs, I've seen a lot out there. And then lastly, I want you to be that operatic diva today. I want you to think like Mod and use that Mod framework to qualify your leads. Today, if you do subscribe to my email list, you will get a step-by-step guide to client referrals. So if you head on over to my website, I'll show you a QR code here in a second so you can get it really easy. You'll be getting this great guide if you download it within the next 48 hours. Pictures, Bueller, and here's the easy one. There's the QR code. I couldn't fit it on the last page. But that goes to my website. You can download that guide. I want to thank you all for coming out today. I think we have a little bit of time for questions. Good. Does anybody have questions about leads, lead conversions, my Instagram hack, CRMs, Bueller?
Right now, getting a CRM that I'm really excited about.
Are you? What CRM are you looking at?
So it's kind of a twofold thing. So it's DJ Event Planner, which I think is
Yep.
very basic and generic and not very pretty to me. It's like Windows 95.
Yep.
But there's a company called Perfect Portals. She's out of Canada, and she charges an arm and a leg for it. But she creates a portal, and all of everything you need. It does the entire thing for you. And it actually integrates, and she actually looks at your website and makes sure that your portal matches exactly, like it looks like an extension of your website. It doesn't look any different. Creates all the email, the signatures, everything that makes it all look seamless. And one of the most important things that she does that I'm really looking forward to is there's an automated, I have to get more information on it, but there's an automated system where every client, not only the client, the venue, the coordinator, everybody involved in it will get a handwritten postcard from me saying how great it was to work with them, and then all of your clients get it on their anniversary and it's all completely automated. I'm so excited for this.
Congratulations. Automation is the key. Save time. We have a question way in the back. You've got 5 minutes.
We use CRM right now. We were thinking about changing because it doesn't have integration with texting, which is we're losing. So we're thinking about Engaged.
Joe Ramirez program? Yeah. I've had a couple of my vendor friends and venue friends rather use Engaged, and I've heard good things. I think the most important thing that you want to identify is how user-friendly it is. I'm not that experienced in Engaged. However, I think the key elements that I mentioned, user-friendly, right? What does it look like? A lot of CRMs can be a little chunky, like Salesforce. Does anybody use Salesforce? No, I was going to say Salesforce is a lot of work. So keeping it simple and streamlined, and I do know Engaged is streamlined. You said you do Engaged. How do you like it?
I love it. We've used it for about 5 years.
Y'all need to connect. Yeah. I've seen the back end of it. I did a demo with Joe when he started the company a couple years ago. I think it was like 2019 or 2018. I think it has everything that you need in terms of integrating, like social media is really important. Like you can manage all of your reviews, I think there, and comment on messages that you get. So I will say that's certainly a benefit to it. I think one of the main things also for any CRM when you're considering one is what is their customer support like? And I think that is one of the most important things. If there's not good customer support and you're stuck, you're really gonna struggle.
Especially with the changing over.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. But y'all should connect right here. Is this 7F right here?
Yeah.
Yay.
Do you use Keep? Is that
Yes, I use Keep. We've been using it for 5 years now. So we've become pretty versed in it. We do have a team member though on our team that is very technical, that is actually a certified Keep teacher. So I don't use it. Paul uses it mostly more than I do. But I think it is important to find that balance with the salespeople, right? In my experience, salespeople really struggle with the organization element, right? They're great closing the deal, right? They're great at building the people relationships, but then they maybe struggle with the back end and like paperwork side of things. But I'm happy to connect with you after, and then definitely connect with 7F here in the front.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's another CRM question.
Yeah.
But when you said, I loved this, dump the non-responsive leads to a nurturing campaign.
Yes.
I am already using a CRM for my main photography clients, and I'm using Flowdesk for my education people.
Yeah.
And I want to use an email like Flowdesk that sends them every so often without me having to think about it. Are you going to a different program with those leads that have gone non-responsive? Or is it all integrated? And if so, what program is that?
Yeah, so we use Keep for all of that. So Keep, actually, we have like 6 email campaigns broken out. There's a bunch, and I can share that with you too, but Shannon probably has some ideas as well.
Lead Savage.
Yeah, Lead Savage. So there's one that we just learned for photographers, Lead Savage. It looks really good. I've heard of Tave too.
But it doesn't have that. Okay,
Yeah.
let's talk, yeah.
Lead Savage is a really great recommendation. Yeah. But I think there's a lot of benefits, especially for planners or even venues too. The client experience doesn't stop, the lead nurturing doesn't stop once they've booked your service. We've integrated Keep into multi-facets part of our business. We use it to advertise our open house. We have a whole email campaign for our open house, email campaigns for our clients that are booked with us, reminders with them. Was that a note? How many minutes? 2 minutes?
No.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were giving me 2 minutes, Lori. I'm like, look at you back.
I would never tell you what to do.
Oh, no, you can tell me what to do, it's fine. There was another question?
Yes, hi, I'm Gia Rito.
Jirita?
Gia,
nice to meet you.
Jose. I have a question about something that you said earlier, the phrase that you used instead of budget. What was that?
Financial comfort zone. To me, budget just seems very like strict, right? And the truth is, right, we all know people are gonna spend more money on their weddings, right? I think they released in the Not Wedding Report last year that people went over budget on average by like $7,000. So we know people are going to go over budget, and so it's more realistic, especially for us in the venue space. We have a larger role in educating clients, I find, and so financial comfort zone. And I even mentioned that, like budgets are strict, right? You're going to go over budget. That's the truth. And so having a financial comfort zone, I think, is more realistic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, 1 minute.
1 minute. Any other questions?
She'll tell you what to do.
Okay, I got you, Lorette. Any other questions? Yes.
So going back to talking about being on the preferred vendor list.
Yes.
So as a venue, from our point of view, what y'all do, is there people that the venues would reach out to in some form of way to be on a vendor list on a higher scale? Is that just?
So you're asking how a venue can get on a preferred vendor list for other vendors?
Or would that be us reaching out to magazines or those wedding websites, to be?
Yeah, so usually those will come with costs, like advertising dollars. But if you're going even back to what Shannon mentioned, right, it's like going out to wedding dress shops, bridal shops, creating that relationship where sometimes brides are looking for their dress before they get a venue and getting on their preferred vendor list. And I think a lot of venues think, okay, well, we are unfortunately, or fortunately, top of the food chain, right? And a lot of circumstances. However, there are ways, even like, we're on a couple, there's some local ring shops in our area in Conroe. We're on their preferred vendor list. So when the groom goes and gets a ring, they give out some of our information. I mean, that's really one of the best ways that a venue can be, again, proactive, and that's another way that's not listed, but a really affordable way for you to generate leads really is getting on a preferred vendor list for non-venues. So that's my time. What they say on the opera world, I'm being pulled off the stage. So thank you.